Hey guys, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. Today we are taking a look at some new polishes from Leesha's Lacquer. We have the Halloween quad first, and then we are going to take a look at a fun thermal swatch of the OOAK of the month. So let's get right into the swatches, and then we will go over all the release details. First up today, we are going to look at Spooder Webs, which is a really pretty topper, and since it is considered a topper and listed as a topper, we're just going to try it as a topper. So we're going to do one coat on my naked nail, and we're going to go ahead and do two coats to see what happens, but in the swatch picture, you will be seeing it as a topper on top of black. But there is one coat, as you can see. All of the different elements really apply themselves evenly. There was no extra effort on my part whatsoever, and it's just really fun. It's got a lot of colors going on. It's got some color shifts in there that you definitely see pop on top of black. So actually, while we do this, let's look at the picture on the side of this on top of black because it is just really pretty. So we're in the black, you're seeing one coat of Spooder Webs on top of a black. And then here you are seeing it just on my naked nail, as you guys can obviously tell. So I'm not sure why I restated that. But here is two coats. So as you can see, you can still see through. You could probably get this to full coverage in about 3 to 4 coats. But like I said earlier, since it is listed and described as a topper, that is what we are going to treat it as. And it is a really pretty topper, and there are so many options because obviously it looks good on black, but this would be really cool in a deep gray or a navy or an eggplant purple. Basically anything, any dark toned polish, it's gonna really just light up on. Now we are on to a really fun polish. This is actually called a tri-thermal, but the name of this one is Ske-LIT-al. So, fun name. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a tri-thermal, which means it has 3 different thermal shifts in it. So, we're not necessarily going to get to see all 3 on here, but you're going to get to see combinations of 2 in the swatch pictures on the side because of my nail length. You can't really capture all 3 in the same shot. But we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So this one actually shifts from kind of a deep black, but actually, best I could tell, it's kind of more of a brownish black. Then it goes to an orange to a yellow, and the yellow actually, to me, kind of appears a little green-like. So you guys can be the judge of that yourselves in the pictures on the side, but here it is. It's getting ready to approach its orange stage. And it is a really neat polish. It's got some shimmer in it as well. And I believe it even has some mini orange flakies in there too. But there is one coat. Now we are going to apply our second coat. And the color that you see when it goes on right now, that is the darkest that it's going to get. You might be able to get it darker in really, really ice cold water, but that's definitely not something I could capture on camera. My room is really hot right now, so it just instantly goes back to being cold. I mean, warm. You guys know what I mean. But there's 2 coats. As you can see, you can kind of still see through to the nail line. And since this one does get lighter as the thermal shift happens, we are going to need about 3 coats for this one. So there is 2, and we're going to let that dry. And now it is time for our third coat. And see, that's its dark stage, but we're just going to even this out, and you can kind of see it shift to its more orangey stage. You never really see it go to its yellow stage on camera, but you guys will see that in the pictures on the side. Like I mentioned earlier, my room is really hot that I'm in today, so I had to paint it sometime, but during the day it was much hotter, so there is 3 coats, and that has reached full coverage, and this is a really fun tri-thermal. I've not played with tri-thermals before, so I feel like this is a really fun one. It would actually be better probably if my nails were a tad bit longer because it would have more kind of space and temperature difference as the nail would be away from the skin and so on. But my nails are not that long at the moment because I gotta keep them functional. So there is 3 coats, and I'm hoping you guys are liking the pictures on the side because I feel like those show a pretty good representation. Next up, we have a really, really, really fun polish. This one is called I Live Inside Your Face. And this is kind of a deep, darkened, blackened holo that has a purple sheen in it. And guess what? This one is a magnetic. So we're going to go ahead and put on our first coat, let our first coat dry, and then we're going to grab a magnet and have some fun with it, because this one pulls the purple in fun ways and just makes it really neat, and we're going to get to see that happen on camera. So there is one coat of I Live Inside Your Face. So in case you've never used a thermal before, basically what you want to do is, once you are putting on your coat that reaches your full coverage, that's the one where you want to use your magnet. And to use the magnet, you got to get it pretty close to your nail, all while not like touching your wet nail, because you have to do it pretty quick. So you're going to want to work one nail at a time. And that is what we are doing, obviously. And here I'm just going to put this on top. And we're going to see if you guys can see. Look, we're there. I accidentally touched it. That's not what you're supposed to do. But we'll see if we can get this to go. I'm not sure you guys are going to actually be able to see it because it is really dark, but you can totally see it in the pictures on the side. And actually you can. That is so cool. So I can see it. I'm not sure you guys can, but towards the top, the magnet kind of pushed the purple to the edges instead of in the middle. So I've got purple edges, but not in the middle, because that's where the magnet was kind of like pushing and pulling. Yeah. So there's a result of the circle magnet. Basically what this one did was it pushed the purple away from the middle. So all the purple is on the outside edge of my finger, and we've got the darkened holo in the middle. However, in the pictures on the side, I used a bar magnet, so you guys are going to see that like swoosh down the middle, the catty corner angle thingy, my bob. So there is a look at that. Next up we have a deepened black, like jelly-like base polish. This one is called Dancing Pumpkin Man, and this one has some really pretty autumnal glitters and flakies in there, and they definitely range from like that deep rusty orange to a copper to orange to red. And it is a really neat polish. This one actually glows in the dark. However, I could not get that to capture on camera to save my life for some reason. I personally, I could see it, the bottle glue and everything in the room that I take glow-in-the-dark pictures in, but the camera was having a fit and it just did not want to capture the glowing process. So I do apologize for that, but the polish is gorgeous on its own, so whether it glows or not, I mean, it does glow, but whether you guys can see it or not on camera, you know, it is still gorgeous without it. So there's one coat. As you can see, it is a bit sheer, so we are going to need to go in for a second coat in just a moment. So this one does dry down to kind of like a satiny finish, as you can see, where it's kind of dull, but not like matte. It's still got a little shine. So this is one you're definitely going to want to apply a top coat with, but as we build up our layers, you really get a neat depth going on there with the different layers of the flakies and everything, and hopefully you guys can see that in this little clip. But this one is kind of like a 2 to 3 coater, so depending on your nail line or how thick or thin you do your coats, you might need 3 coats. For swatching, I kind of needed 3 on a few of my nails. However, right now, I feel like I'm really happy with these 2 coats, so we're going to leave it like that and take a look at the pictures on the side. Also, with a top coat that is shiny, this polish is like super duper shiny, like just like you are seeing it now while it's wet. It is just really shiny, so you are going to see the lights reflecting pretty major in there. But this is just a really fun, deepened, perfect for Halloween polish. And here is your final overall look at the Halloween quad for really fun and different unique polishes. We've got glow-in-the-darks, we've got a thermal, we've got a magnetic, and we've got a really fun topper. These will be available starting October 24th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we have 2 size options, so you can get a full-size bottle for 8 or a mini for 4. Now let's take a look at the last polish of today's video. Now we have another fun thermal, and this one actually showed up really well in pictures, I think. The shifting process of it showed up really well because it is just a really cool polish. So here it's kind of got like a brownish red tone, and as you can see it is super sheer. However, it touched my skin there and you could tell it was darker. So anyway, when you look at it in the bottle, it has this like deep darkened, almost a deep darkened plum tone to it, but then you've got like this really great like blue teal shimmer in it that lights up the polish. Like you guys are going to see in the swatch photos, that shimmer sheen in it is just electric and very prominent, and it makes for such a cool polish. But yeah, this kind of is what it is whenever it is body temperature, you could say. It'll get a little bit more brown red toned, but whenever it is cold, you're going to get a much darker version of that same color. And I forgot to mention that this one is called Fright, Frightening, and Frightening, which is kind of very hard to say, so I totally probably just butchered it, but it'll be in the corner so you guys can see it. But right now, actually, you guys are getting to see it go down to whatever its body temperature would be. And it is kind of like a red toned brown shade, but not like a brown that you wouldn't want to wear. It's definitely leaning more towards the like a warm red, almost a marsala-like brown. That's a better description of it, actually. So we're going to go ahead and put on our second coat, because as you can see, this one dried down with that kind of satiny like finish, so you can tell that it was dry. And now we are putting on our second coat. This one is another one of those, it's like 2 to 3 coats depending on how thick or thin you do your coats. And as you can see right now, it's actually at its darker stage, and the shimmer is really coming through for you guys, I think. And it is just really pretty. And again, if the shimmer is not coming through, you guys are going to see it on the side because it is so prominent. I promise you, it is gorgeous. So you know what? Let's just look at the picture now. It's on the side there. Look at how bold that shimmer is. It is just, it makes this polish, in my opinion. It is just so fun. So there is 2 coats, as you can see. It still is a little sheer on this corner. That was probably just me being a little careful on camera, but we're going to go ahead and do that 3rd coat because you can see it kind of went down in its shininess level. And this 3rd coat does bring us to full coverage. So there is 3 coats, so we have full coverage, and this is just a really pretty polish. And this is one of the polishes that is not in the Halloween collection, like line or anything. This one is coming out the same day, which is why it is in this video, because you guys would want to see them both in the same video. But this one is like a limited edition polish. And since we just looked at the swatch of the last polish, and here's your final look at all of the polishes that we looked at, because all of these are releasing at the same time, which is October 24th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, the last polish that you guys just saw will be available very limitedly, so you're going to want to get there quickly if you want to grab that one. And I think that is all you need to know. Any more information and links to the swatches will be in the description box below, as well as a link to get over to the Leesha Lacquer shop. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye!